We're joined by Mack Schulman. He's the author of Tel Aviv Diary and a columnist for Newsweek and frequent guest of ours over the years. Mark, I want to jump into the President Trump aspects here. It's good to have you with us on this. Obviously, the president's central in everything that's taking place right now with Israel, with Hamas, with the entire region. Now, the latest thing that I've seen here, I want to get your thoughts on. He's warned Hamas that they face, as he put it, total obliteration if they fail to take and adhere to his deal that's on the table right now. He seems to be sort of holding the Israeli sword, the IDF sword, over Hamas's head here. How do you read on the time frame for this, on how the president's approaching this, managing this sort of uncertain moment we're in?
Look, he's pushing. He's pushing as hard as he knows how to push. Does he know what buttons to really push? We don't know. Is Hamas taking him seriously? Again, we don't really know. The question is, Qatar, are those countries taking him seriously, and can they push Hamas? Again, there are so many unknowns in this situation. The unknown unknowns are greater than the knowns, to be quite honest with you. He, at the moment, is clearly focused on this, whether it's because he cares so much about the hostages, whether he cares because he wants to end the war, or because he wants to get the Nobel Peace Prize at the end of the week. I have no idea which it is, and I don't really care. As long as he keeps on pushing it, as an Israeli, I'm all in favor of him to keep on pushing, push everybody, including us, and bring this home, so to speak.
Well, he appears to be performing serious diplomacy, that act of diplomacy, bringing in all these sides, getting a lot of pieces to move without appearing to really commit himself, too heavily in any direction on this. It took 2 years, Mark, but is there real political and military pressure now, regional isolation on the terrorists in Gaza? Might that actually be working?
It might be to some extent. Look, to some extent, the fact that their military is falling apart is also something serious. Keep in mind the incident that took place that didn't get a lot of coverage on Thursday, I think it was, when Hamas sent its most advanced fighters to go and attack one of the groups that have been opposing it. They used to support them, but one of those Hamullah clans that were opposing it. And the plan was to massacre all the women and children of this clan. And it failed because the clan fought back and Israel helped with the drone. And it shows the fact that Hamas is getting a little bit desperate also. So it's a combination of everything, I think. I think that Hamas was also really pressured by the Qataris, by their other supporters. And at this point, they felt they had no choice. But again, we're going to see what reality is tomorrow. It was one thing not to say no to Trump. And that's what they did. They didn't say no. On the other hand, we know they didn't quite say yes. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Rubio said that 90% of everything has been worked out. Okay, maybe. I have to say, the one thing that gives me a little bit of confidence is the fact that Jared Kushner is involved again. Yeah. Now, who would have believed that we'd all be thinking that Jared Kushner, the seasoned diplomat, is involved in a great thing, but he has much more experience than anyone else.
He's produced results in the past, right? He's got a resume, he's produced results. Mark, I want to bring another topic in.
He's got a resume. He also understands the region.
Yes, he does.
He understands Israel and he understands the Arab world at this point. And it's very hard to see anyone else in the whole Trump team that really does. Yeah. I mean, I always said, and I've said on this channel going back to the first Trump administration, the one thing I always thought that Trump knew was the Israel-Arab conflict. Does he know all the details, all the history? No, but he basically understands it. You can't be a real estate developer in New York without understanding it. Like I said before, when I led the Salute Israel Day parade for the 40th anniversary, so that was a few years ago, he was one of our grand marshals. So he's been involved all these years, and he understands a great deal. And he cares to some extent. So I'm willing to forgive almost everything else if he can bring this home. I think everyone in Israel will be very, very thankful.
Mark, I'm going to bring in a new topic first. I want to get your thoughts on this. It's about a new poll published this weekend by the Washington Post, in case our viewers missed it here. It shows that 39% of American Jews surveyed believe that Israel's committed genocide against the heavily armed and entrenched Palestinians in Gaza. A staggering 61%. They said that Israel committed war crimes there. And while those surveyed, they have no direct ability to know what's actually happening in the war. The poll results, thus, less of a verdict, more of a potential representation of the nature of Jewish American sentiment towards Israel's perceived conduct. Importantly, the poll found that most American Jews are emotionally attached to Israel. They believe Israel's existence is vital even to the Jewish future, and they support continued U.S. military aid. I want to highlight this too. Almost 1/3 said they do not feel safe in the U.S. So I think you get a mix of sentiments expressed there, Mark, in this poll. Do you feel this is an accurate portrayal of where things are heading? I mean, the U.S. Jews, like so many other people in the United States, are really inundated by anti-Israel messaging. How major of a concern? How can we fix it?
Okay, there are two parts to that.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know that we can fix it in the short term. Bringing the war to an end will certainly help, to say the least. I think we have to recognize two things have happened here. One, we were way too successful in our Holocaust education. So all of a sudden, to American Jews and to other people in the rest of the world, the minute something bad happens, they immediately associate it with the Holocaust, which means it's genocide. So that's problem number one, dumbing down, so to speak, the word genocide. Yeah. Genocide does not mean what it used to mean. And I don't think any serious Israeli observer, including from the relatively far left, believes that we are committing genocide. Yeah. But from outside the country, it looks like it could be, right. It's bad, doesn't look good. We're killing a lot of people. So it translates, that must be a genocide. That's number one. That's a simplistic view that unfortunately Jews are not immune from that simplistic view. And young Jews particularly are getting the same TikTok, what's being shown on TikTok, which the Chinese and whoever else, it's the Qataris or everyone else has been feeding them, certainly has a major impact. Part two, we have to recognize that for most of the world, and probably most Israelis, if they look carefully, there probably was some war crimes committed in Gaza. Now, we don't like to think of it that way. It's our children, our sons, daughters, whatever, husbands who are fighting there, and we don't want to think any of them could possibly have committed a war crime. But there's never been a war practically, certainly not with urban warfare, that there haven't been some war crimes that have taken place in the course of a 2-year-long war. I mean, come on, 2 years, long time. Some people do things they're not supposed to do. Some people, decisions are made that, if the percentage of civilians that are killed in a particular strike and is too high, the calculation was wrong, that can be considered a war crime. So I don't think anyone who really thinks about what we've been doing in Gaza would say we've committed no war crime. Did we do it on purpose? Are we trying to create a genocide? Absolutely not. But it looks really bad on the outside. And so people see it and they say, well, that must be a war crime. I mean, civilians die, that must be a war crime.
Well,
they don't understand the laws of war that say...
no doubt. I mean,
right. They don't understand
any coverage of this. You see people living alongside ruins in Gaza, and you see on the Israeli side tanks and military. So yes, the imagery leads people to certain conclusions. Mark, I have to cut you off. We got some other things to get into in terms of the time. Thanks for joining us so far on the program.